just being a virtuous intention is not good enough to influence our actions to be spiritual practice, to influence our actions to be path freedom from samsara, path to liberation and enlightenment. So therefore, that virtuous intention, which based by renunciation, was that virtuous intention has to be infused by mind of renunciation. Here meaning having the idea and having the idea of the disadvantage and the faults of samsara, faults of delusion, faults of negativities, and you very much kind of overcome those limitations, and in order to do that, the path is the way. So therefore, one is going to engage in the path, which is the spiritual practice. So just having good heart is not good enough. That good-hearted intention has to be infused by mind of renunciation. From Buddhist perspective, the real cessation that we're looking for, the term liberation that we're looking for, not just freedom from temporary inconvenience, not looking temporary freedom from disturbances from our emotions. The objective is to be free from the entire contaminations onto our aggregates, and including of the environment. And that contamination is the negative influence that we receive from delusion and karma. So like that. So here, whatever time that we're going to spend together, may every single moment be the complete course for numberless sentient beings benefit, up to the ultimate benefit of numberless sentient beings, which is the highest state of liberation, which is called full enlightenment. So that is our main motivation. So in order to achieve that highest state of liberation, enlightenment, then without any doubt that we need to purify the samsara. We need to purify the causes of the samsara, the entire karma, entire delusions. And in order to do that, first we have to work on ourselves. We have to overcome our own limitations of karma and delusions. That also, by understanding the characteristic of the delusions, characteristics of the karma, so that one will recognize exactly the negation that we're supposed to negate. And that is the understanding of the limitations of those delusions, such as anger, such as attachment, grasping, ego, self-centered attitude, jealousy, laziness, etc. If we give example, just the anger, as we all know, how destructive it is, you know, and not just destructive for others or to the environment, but it is really harmful to yourself, you know. And we all familiar with that, isn't it? Whenever, even when we encounter slightest sign, slightest sign of anger in us, you know, we tend to lose the ground of peace, lose the ground of happiness. Our system, you know, completely become imbalanced. Not only to our mind, but also to our body. You know, when we even just be near to the sign of anger, we start to have a stress and painful back, painful neck, you know, tension. Then tension tummy. Then even you get, you know, the most delicious lunch, can't digest properly. You know, even just being near to the sign of anger. So can you imagine when the anger is already hijacked in our system? So therefore, so you know, therefore, emotion like anger is totally harmful. Yeah. Maybe many of us know it is harmful, but we have a hard time overcoming it, isn't it? So that is the point here: lacking of practice, lacking of applications of antidote to those delusions. So again, first we need to know the limitations of delusion, such as anger, but that is not good enough. We need to know the antidotes. So there are direct antidotes, you know, or in general antidotes. So beneficial, so important to know what are they, and there comes the point, importance of studying Dharma. So Dharma, the main theme of the Dharma is teach us what are the characteristics of the negations, and what are the general antidotes and the specific antidotes of those delusions. That is the job of Dharma. You know, that is what we are supposed to learn by learning Dharma, by learning Buddhist teaching. Whether you learn through philosophical way, or you learn, you know, there are many different ways. If you can afford a long time, you know, dedicating your time to study, and you can learn, you know, through philosophy, like those Geshes would do. If not, then learn Lamrim, in the gradual path of enlightenment. If you, you know, according with your interests, even to the different tradition, like Tibetan Buddhism has 4 major Buddhist traditions: Nyingma, Kagyu, Sajja, Gelu. Each of these different tradition has it is Lamrim, which is the teaching on the gradual path of enlightenment. More, how to say, it's concise, complete but concise. If you put diligent effort to to have a thorough study on the most extensive Lamrim, which is the from the Gelug tradition, Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Chemo, the great Lamrim. It depends on how many classes you take. But within 1 year, maybe 1 to 3 years, you can study. It doesn't require for 20, 30 years. But if you choose to study from the philosophical, the way, then minimum 17, 18 years. Many of the Geshe would do. Then, if you don't have much time to study the more elaborate way, but at the same time, to gain complete picture of the complete knowledge in the lesser wordings of the entire path, then there are many different Lamrims, middle-length Lamrim, small Lamrim. Then the most concise one, foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa, is about 1.5 page. From the very beginning, Guru devotion, all the way up to introduction to Tantra. Everything's there. Or you can study 3 principal aspects of the path by Lama Tsongkhapa. That can also gain the entire picture of the topic of Lamrim, the teaching on the 3 capable beings path. So, in short, whichever way you then if you're interested in Nyingma Kagyu Sadhya, then Nyingma Kusala Shalu, the perfect word of Guru. Then Sadhya Lamde, then Kagyu's Taputaken. So there are so many options that one can study. And the main point of studying any form of Buddhist teaching is, very much to study the characteristic, to know 100% of the negations, and also to know 100% of the antidotes. So then qualified antidote, you apply as an antidote to the unmistaken object of negation, then boom, you can really destroy. But that require not just knowing the theory. Because just knowing the theory is not good enough at all. We need to practice. We need to practice in meditation. Without practicing meditation, how profound, how extensive you have studied, won't able to get to fulfill the actual purpose of practicing the Dharma, which is actualize the path. It's not possible. So have to meditate. And when we talk about meditation, without proper analytical meditation, if we don't have the qualified knowing of doing analytical meditation on any topic, we won't able to do proper absorption meditation. So in order to do proper analytical meditation, we have to study correctly. We have to know exactly the teaching. Again, same thing I will repeat. It's very much you have through through your analytical capability, you're able to detect 100%, through the knowing of unmistaken characteristic of the delusion, what exactly the anger is. If you want to overcome the anger, without knowing that, then in the darkness, just simply shooting anywhere, like that, or simply grabbing someone without knowing exactly, that's the thief. So we need to know. You see, so that we will gain through proper study. Then when we gain the wisdom of study, then we have the capability to do qualified analytical meditation. Then there is a possibility of gaining wisdom of analytical meditation. And when we gain the wisdom or the result, the perfected result of analytical meditation, then only that individual will have something which is as an object of meditation to be able to successfully conduct absorption meditation. So without having wisdom of analytical meditation, we have no basis to do absorption meditation. So there's a process. So now study, I think everyone knows what really mean by study. Now, what is some extra thing about analytical, process? Analytical process is very much educating our mind repeatedly to the correct definitions of whatever meditation you are doing, with reasoning, with your own example of your own experience, like anger. When we do analytical meditation, from the text, like such as Shantideva's Bodhisattvacharya, chapter 6, emphasize extensive illustrations of correct definitions of the faults of anger, and the benefit of it is antidote patient. So the convincing ourselves, looking at those teachings, then all of us have so many events have get angry, isn't it? Is there anybody never get angry here? Anybody? You never got angry? If one person came up, then we will do birthday party for her or him. We end the session here and we do a party. So it's very, very hard to find one individual that who can really confidently say, I never got angry. So anger has so many levels, grows to the subtle. Just having the mind of impatient is also anger, not just bursting out with this loud sound. No, that's already quite high degree. Just being impatient. So later, I may cause every one of you get some degree of angry if I drag more than the time, more than our session. Then you start impatient, a little bit of impatience. It's already a certain degree of anger, Yeah. Anyway, hope it won't happen that. Then I create a lot of negative karma. So yes. So you see. So yes. Then. try to convince ourselves of those events when we were being impatient, or we really burst into a, quite intense anger, and try to try to understand, try to recall the actual event, what happened, how did you felt, and the effect of that event, what kind of consequences you had to go through. And those are the part of the analytical meditation to to make us to gain the wisdom of analytical meditation. Of overcoming anger from our system. So yes. Then we can also use example of those angry people. Go everywhere, scold everybody. You can see intense suffering in them. You can also use those as an example to educate ourselves as element of the condition to gain wisdom of analytical meditation in relation to overcoming anger. Then you go further. If you already have conviction in karma, you believe in karma, then you relate to those teachings, as I mentioned before. There are many, all teaching talks about faults of anger, negative consequences of anger. The best text that you can relate to is chapter 6 of Shantideva's Bodhisattva's Way of Life, or Bodhisattva Charya. You just look at it. Then you recite them. Then you try to rationalize yourself the consequences of anger. Rationalize. Then try to convince with many similar examples that we encounter in our life, or we witness in someone's life because of anger. You see. When we talk about karmic effect, not necessarily have to go, not necessarily have to calculate between this to next life. You can calculate within 1 hour period. Someone act in anger in the first minute of the hour, and it is karmic result maybe the last minute of that hour. Or we can calculate within 1 minute, first moment of that minute when the person get angry, is committing karma. And the consequences, the last moment, last seconds of that minute, the suffering that person himself go through, and the destruction that person bring to the environment. Then you can expand that to more, a longer period. Get into more detailed aspect of more subtle level of understanding of karma. And heavy anger create the causes to experience consequences in the lowest hell realms. The heaviest delusion, not only just anger, attachment, grasping, all the delusion, the heaviest karma, the consequences is the greatest suffering. So those who are already familiar with the Buddhist teaching and you believe in that, then it's hell realm. Even within hell realm, there are so many levels of hell realms, you see. And the more the intense anger we get, even in this life, you can see, we can witness the hell in this life, if I get the more the intense anger I get, the more the hell I experience, right there, that's not the hell realm, but you can understand a little bit from there, and yeah. So anyway, like that. Yeah. So there's one limitation that which we use, we often recall. One moment of anger will destroy eons of accumulation of merits. Just one moment of anger will destroy eons of accumulations of virtuous merits. At the same time, what one wishes for yourself is only happiness, free of all the inconvenience, success, unexhaustible happiness. This is what we aspire for. Do not wish even one moment, even the slightest form of suffering. This is what we always voice. We always work for. All of us, whatever way, whatever kind of word that you use. I came here for the benefit of numberless sentient beings. I came here just to get away from my town. I came here just to feel Tushita, Dharamsala. Or I came here because my friend is going, so I just take along. Whatever it is. Or I'll say I came here for myself. Or I came here for totally not for myself, for all other beings. Whatever it is, ultimately is, all these expressions of longing, starting from yourself, at least for yourself, longing only happiness, and not wishing even the slightest or even a one momentary, suffering in our life. So that is the objective. Whatever kind of words that you use, but that's our innate voice, and nothing wrong with that. And that is a very good voice. That's a very good call, very good. What do you call? Asking. In fact, that is the seed that will make possibility of actualizing true everlasting happiness, which is the state of enlightenment. That aspiration is the foundation. So now, happiness has to be produced by its right cause, and suffering too will produce by its right cause. And right cause for these sufferings is the negativities. Right causes for the happiness is the virtues. So between patience and anger is not virtuous. So anger is direct cause for suffering. Patience, compassion, all this is cause for happiness. It's a direct cause for happiness, including of enlightenment. So, and so that is the fact. That is the fact. If you examine carefully in individual's life, you have so many evidence that is true. The causes of happiness is the virtues. Causes of suffering are the non-virtues. it's quite difficult for us to get substantial time to accumulate virtues and merit. Yeah, I struggle, to have abundance of time to accumulate full of merit. I struggle. Even just today, I spend so much time wander around the mountains. Then quite a portion of time completely, soak into rain, and my mind is completely engrossed into that heavy rain. Then after that, went back to the hotel. Then at least half an hour, completely just occupied with cleaning. So it's very much like that from morning to like that. And somehow we are in Dharamsala and still struggle to have abundance of time for virtue. Then where got better place? Is it? But then at the same time, I'm extremely greedy. I want everlasting happiness. I want right now. Right now. I will not tolerate even one moment of suffering. Very greedy. Yet there's no time to accumulate merits. Then on top of that, it's very much like what we just experienced. The rain is like a bucket full, just throw onto you like that. The anger, the impatience comes in our way. Is it the impatience? It's completely bursting out to loud. Okay, not so often, but the impatience, is almost like always with us. There's no peace, no complete kind of calmness. That's that little boiling somewhere. That is also anger. So almost like this. We spend so much time accumulating, certain degree of calm of anger. And one moment of anger will destroy eons of merit. And in order to experience the happiness, you need the right cause, merit. Here, you're not accumulating merit. Here, you keep destroying. If in case there's abundance of merit we accumulate from the past, keep destroying by getting angry. Then it's almost like putting us into a complete empty-handed and full of suffering, full of negativities. That kind of danger zone that we always comes to if we are not mindful. That's what I understand, and I do feel kind of I really need to work onto it. Otherwise, not only not committing new virtues, but then you are destroying all the hard work that your past lifetime have done, or all the hard work in doing good time that you have accumulated virtues through making charity, serving your parents, taking care of your children, virtues that being mindful, to be understanding to your partner, being forgiving in the mistake of others, abundant accumulation of virtue. We don't have to go all the way back to past life. Even this lifetime, since young up to now, we did accumulate quite a lot, isn't it? Every one of us, we did a lot of good things also. Yeah. But this anger, if you don't take care of this anger, that will clean everything from our system. of all those accumulation of virtues. Okay, so now I'm going away from. I went a distraction somewhere else. So anyway, okay. In short, in conclusion, I think we really have to take care of our mind, getting influence from any delusions, but in particularly anger. Because anger has that much, power to destroy us. So one thing, from this session, we're supposed to do question answer. We will do that. But one thing that you want to make me accumulate a lot of merit. If you wish me happy, I'm sure everybody, isn't it? Is there anybody who don't want me to be happy? Then, but I need cause for happiness, isn't it? You're just wishing me to be happy, it's not simple as that. I need causes for happiness. And as I mentioned before, I need merit, which is the causes for my happiness. So now I talk about this, briefly, very briefly, very, very briefly, the limitation of anger and taking care of our mind to stay away from anger as much as possible. If you got that message, and if you got that message and you try your best to be as peaceful as possible, away from anger, then you have given me blessings to accumulate abundance of merit. And then I will be so happy. Because I have plenty of causes of merit. Even I don't want to be happy, also I'll be happy. I said, I don't want to be happy. But so much merit that you cause me, you condition me, just because of that one thing. That, say from today onward, one thing. Anger, no, I cannot afford to have one moment of anger. But then again, in actual reality, for some individual, it is so habitual of anger. So not easy to get rid of immediately. For some people, you live in the environment, even in the family environment, everyone is kind of provoking you. Everyone kind of disturbing you. Mother disturbing you, father disturbing you, sister disturbing you, brother disturbing you, your dog also disturbing you. then sometimes cockroach also come and disturb you. So it's almost like it's so hard, to really, at least not to get little anger. You see? So here the practice is, if you get angry whole day, then at least reduce. At least give a break during the breakfast time. Just focus on the breakfast. Stay. Just enjoy the breakfast. No angry. And that is already very, 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 very effective kickstart towards eliminating anger. So like that. If one gets angry, whenever you get angry, you always say bad words. You always tend to destroy things. Then you will still get angry, but at least don't destroy. At least don't throw away things from your table. So you start with that. You kickstart with that. So next morning, I say, oh, okay, my mark is still intact there. This is my 50th mark, but the 50th mark is still it's intact there. Oh, I'm good, like that. So then, if you used to say bad words, then you get angry, upset, but at least you reduce the bad words. Like that. Then, if those of individual who get angry, just once a week, or twice a week, and now just reduce to once a week. So the time, duration, and the intensity, just even it may be just 1%, but reduce little bit. So that is the journey. That's the practice to lead to completely eliminate anger. So now, then try to notice yourself during those process. That where what was it? The space where you reduce from how you get angry before. Then you check yourself. What do you experience? What is the feeling? And also you can, especially you observe afterward, and you start to realize unbelievable beauty, unbelievable changes, like that. So yes. Okay. So now may this session to be most beneficial for all sentient beings' happiness, and that starts from our own self, at least by actualizing, inner peace, by overcoming impatientness, anger, etc. So that's the motivation. So now we can do the Mandala Offering. So this Mandala Offering, so for many of you may be familiar, for some of you if not familiar. So there's something kind of on the plate, then there's 5 spots like that. It's like wish fulfilling jewel, or it also represents 4, the central Mount Meru and the 4 continents. Then the basis is the universe. Then you also continent very much entire existence. That's how we visualize. Then we offer to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. We offer to the teacher to create auspiciousness as a gesture of offering respect, and also offer to create meritorious karmic causes for teacher to reveal the teachings. And there's also a tradition of offering, and which we don't do today usually, as a thanksgiving, for revealing the Dharma, like that. Then there's a body, speech, and mind, the statue, and the text and the stupa. So that represent Buddha's, that is the conventional representations of Buddha's holy body, Buddha's holy speech, and Buddha's holy mind. The statue, the form, the sculpture as a speech, and the stupa as a heart. So this is what we're going to happen now. Sanje Jodam Zoye Joma La Janjo Badu Dani Jazunje Daye Juje Jebe Zonaman Lola Benje Zanje Ndubalai Jo Zanje Jodam Zoye Joma La Janjo Badu Dani Jazunje Daye Juje Jebe Zonam Je Lola Benje Zanje Ndubalai Kamye dozene zone dawa dam je bam bejre dam bejne denze ba godam de la chaze toni ni je zon do je be lam je je ga je de chana be mo denze ja zo la so wa de zo da ye jin ye. Okay, so as just an auspiciousness, I will just say a few words. The whole Buddha Dharma, can consolidate or can summarize into these three sections. The true truth as a basis or the foundation, and the true path as a main body practice, and the true bodies of the Buddha is to be actualized as a result of the path. So the two bases, the true truth, conventional truth, and ultimate truth. So conventional truth, it is about understanding the causality. It's understanding interconnectivityness, understanding interdependent arising. Very simple example: without parent, no children. Without right causes, there's no right result. So without virtues, there's no happiness, enlightenment. Without overcoming negative causes like delusions and negative karma, and then there's no freedom from sufferings, selling existence. So understanding that is very much understanding the conventional reality is the conventional truth. And by understanding the conventional truth, you will understand how samsara is formed and how possibility of liberation is there. Then by understanding conventional reality or conventional truth, we will understand the sufferings, the limitations of samsara, the limitation of suffering in sentient beings, in yourself as well as in others. Due to that, then it will cause us to actualize renunciation. And due to the renunciation, and one will develop different stages of the method aspect of the path, such as understanding so different level of compassion, the value of love, kindness, empathy, etc., and all the way, including actualizing altruism, bodhicitta, and that will cause the result of the Buddha's form body, which is the tool to offer benefit in the service of sentient being. So now, understanding the other side of the truth, the ultimate truth, which is referring to the understanding of the emptiness nature of the conventional truth, emptiness nature of the world, emptiness nature of samsara, emptiness nature of liberation, emptiness nature of self, emptiness nature of others, emptiness nature of all the causality, very much emptiness nature of everything, empty of true existence, empty of intrinsic existence, empty of dualistic existence, then empty of substantial existence, then ultimately to know, to understand the emptiness of substantial or inherent existence. So that is about understanding the ultimate truth. By doing so, one will realize the ultimate path, which is the wisdom of selflessness, wisdom of emptiness on self, wisdom of emptiness on phenomena. Start with your aggregates and the rest of the phenomena. You will come to a point that one directly know the exact truth of existence of the entire existence. You will come to a point that you see I is empty. I is not other than empty. Like in the Heart Sutra, form is empty, emptiness is form. Form is not other than emptiness, not other than form. So that you will discover within your own self-identity and on the basis of the aggregates such as the form, feeling aggregates, etc., mental aggregates, then to the rest of the phenomena. That also by non-conceptual mind is complete free from fabrications of our normal mind, our conceptual mind. That's very much completely free of any faults of seeing the 100% the absolute truth of anything. So when you realize that, then that becomes most powerful antidote to entire defilement, in particularly the root, the main basis of the defilement, which is the ignorant of grasping of inherent existence to the I and to the I. So you will be able to overcome that. By doing so, then that wisdom will directly result to actualize the Dharmakaya, the wisdom body of the Buddha, and that is the highest achievement of our spirituality. That is the highest benefit of your own well-being. And that is a state of enlightenment. That is the cessation by overcoming entire limitations in you, and you completely, actualize no return state of, absolute omniscient enlightened being. So like that. Okay, so this is just an auspicious as a Dharma teaching, and I think today is my first teaching to Tushita. From a long time, even while I was studying in Sarah, when I visit Dharamsala, invited to have sessions, but somehow it didn't happen. And even when we go Kumbela, for many years, whenever we meet Venerable, very kindly say, come to Tushita, teach. Somehow in person, and it didn't happen. And so therefore, this is my first in person. I have this very precious opportunity in this holy place. This is a very, very precious holy place. Blessed by Lama Yeshe. There's a Lama Sobrabutsu. So many holy beings are recited here. And so many, hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands more. Since the inception, so many people's life have changed. From unhappy person to very happy people, angry people to very, very patient people. So grasping into life, become like sadhu, like yogis. There are many yogis produced from here. So etc. like that. Then also is my first physical teaching after the COVID. So yes. So thank you very much. And I'm sorry taking a lot of time. Blah blah blah. It's supposed to be question answer. Okay, now we kick off for question answer. You can ask anything you like. Thank you. Yes, please. So you decide who want to. Okay, I don't know. I cannot. Maybe one from here, one from there, one from here, one from there. I think better. Okay, you go first.
I was wondering, in this contemporary world, how can we have compassion for animal-minded people?
Okay, animal meaning?
Like animal-minded human.
Animal-minded human people. Oh. Yeah.
Like that generally creates anger, but how can we have compassion for
them? Okay, definitely. If you use the Dharma tool, Buddhist teaching, Buddhist values, then in fact those are the most easy to generate compassion. You see, those ill-willed people. First of all, compassion is to be generated towards someone who's suffering. Yeah. Compassion, the mind of compassion is wishing someone to be free from suffering and its causes. So that is the definition of compassion. So if someone is not suffering, then there's no need to generate compassion to them. But this ill-willed person, the more the ill-willed, the more the suffering that person will do. You see. First of all, the reason of being ill person is because of their suffering, because of the intensity. The more they ill-willed, more the intense suffering they are going through. Okay, that's the fact. Now, So when we talk about suffering, not just the suffering of pain that you have to, we have to think beyond that. Not just suffering of pain. The person who go through the worst suffering is suffering of samsara. What that means? That means the condemnation that he is experiencing by karma and delusion. That's the worst suffering that the person going through. The person being ill will, maybe the person do not wish to be ill will, but just naturally becoming ill will, naturally becoming harmful to others, provoking to others. That's some kind of, even we go through that sometimes. We don't want to be a bad person. We don't want to scold people, but then just burst out. So those are the force by the karma, past definite karma, or past even general karma, or the delusion is overpowering your normal mind. You see, so that condemnation is called samsara, which is most painful thing. You see, so from that point of view, that person is the most needed object of your compassion.
But like what Russia is doing to Ukraine, that way Ukraine people will have a lot of anger for them. How can they avoid anger in such a situation?
As I mentioned, whoever is harming anyone, you cannot say, I think you cannot give just Russia or Russians. No, there's so many Buddhist Russians. It could be, maybe one person or some people of decision, and those people could be, really, as I mentioned, completely under the control of past karma, under the control of delusion, like anger, or maybe ego, or maybe, definitely has to be delusion. Definitely has to be also by force of karma. So for us as a practitioner, even what the general and whoever leading for this destruction, as a Buddhist practitioner, they are central object of your compassion. Central object. They need the most help. We all must, instead of getting angry, instead of blaming, we should accumulate more merit and dedicate for that person to overcome all those negativities. You see, then those victim of such abuse, such harm, they are obviously, we see so much suffering of physical suffering and emotional suffering. So much suffering that we can witness by our naked eye. They too are object of our compassion. You see, so in the practice of Buddhism, no one to be hated. Good people also observe your compassion. Bad people also observe your compassion. As long as they are suffering, it's all observe your compassion. And more suffering, you have to put them as your central object. So when such distraction happening, we too get angry. We are fueling to the negativities. We are adding more kerosene to the fire. You see, so something like that. Okay, I go since I said okay. I will come back to you.
Just saw your film where you.
Yeah, someone told me you just watch. Oh, okay. So, you like it? Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very happy. Now you made me create so much causes for happiness. So yeah, so some of you have to come and share my happiness. Otherwise, I will too much happiness. Yeah, it's true. Okay. Yes.
So in that film, reincarnation.
Yes.
It must have been such a complex emotion when you are holding your in the wake of a child.
Yeah.
Taking care of the child as a child, but at the same time feeling reverence for the Guru in the child.
Yeah.
It's such a complex emotion. I would like to hear from you.
Yes. in one way, yes, it is really complex. In another way, it's very simple. My respect, my veneration to this little boy is as equal of my previous, the old master. I see 100% the old master in this little boy, in this little baby. Sometimes you see so intense until you forget about that little baby, and some, the baby is down there. My baby is down there. He's looking up like that. You are like that. And the only way is, you squash yourself like that. Yeah. Yes, my experience is never struggled. It's very clear, that part. But then in the actual the reality of day-to-day life, especially about 3 years, he lived with me, only 2 of us, and that time. I have to behave as he's schooling, so I need to make sure he do homework, make sure don't overplay, make sure sleep on time, and he's super hyper, so difficult to sleep, and there was sometimes I had to be a bit loud, say now, then like that. I'm aware, whom I'm talking to, but I have to pretend, okay. Then when he go to bed, then I do prostration to him. Beside his bed, I did prostration. We have a Buddhist practice of purification, Vajrasattva practices, purification practices. Even with my tone, if I shouldn't be doing that, but I was put into that position. So may all my whatever's purified, But then morning when he wake up, better eat breakfast. So like that. At night. So almost every day I have a confession ceremony while he was snoring, like that, yeah. So yes. Yes.
Possible. Thank you for coming. Really a good opportunity for us to listen to you. Now, I'm basically very ignorant actually, so that's why I'm asking this question. So we come here to talk about everlasting happiness.
Mm-hmm.
As part of that, we also talk about impermanence, which also means that anything which is there will be impermanent. So how do you basically think about everlasting happiness, which is not an impermanence, but it also means could be that happiness is also impermanent? Right?
Yeah, right. So here 2 parts. Impermanent, even that everlasting happiness, it is nature. It's also impermanent. It is impermanent. But why call everlasting happiness? Means that continuum of that happiness is unexhausted. The continuum. It doesn't mean it does not experience. It does not function the momentary changes of that everlasting happiness. From that point of view, it is completely qualified to be impermanent phenomena. But it is everlasting. It sounds like permanent happiness. The permanent is not talking about the impermanent and permanent. We are talking about the ever unexhaustible, never disappearing, consistent continuum of happiness. Yes. And first of all, I'm more ignorant than you. So don't worry. Maybe go this side, please. Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to have your opinion on why do we have so many sufferings?
So many
Sufferings.
sufferings. Oh, okay.
Why is it so hard and does it require so many efforts and time?
I see. True. Yeah, so many sufferings. Yes. If I may give a straightforward answer, because we have abundance of causes of suffering. That's why so many suffering out there. And what are they? The delusions, anger, as mentioned before, grasping, just grasping of unable to let go of many things we experienced in the past, grasping towards uncertainty of future, etc. So then ego, very familiar, all of us, with our ego. Then self-centeredness, also quite familiar for all of us. Then this three partial attitude, imbalanced attitude in us, sometimes so close, so loving to this few people, loved one, totally hating to certain group of people, and totally ignore the rest of the others. That is imbalanced emotion that we have. From just that point of view, from that point of view, we can see how abundance of causes of suffering we have in our system. It's almost no choice. We have to experience abundance of suffering. You see, because of even the worldly, in a common way, sometimes we mix, confuse between genuine altruistic affection with grasping love. Even just relation between two-person couple or parent to children, sometimes it's difficult to differentiate the altruistic affection, love, which is virtue, which is we need to cultivate. We need to cultivate until that it becomes altruistic or like a Buddha's heart. But then most of the time it's not altruistic affection. In fact, it is attachment grasping, and that is a delusion. And because of that, we make a lot of wrong decisions, because that even with someone that you thought that only bring happiness, they come to a point that I can die for you, you die for me. I see in the movie a lot. I think in reality also many like that. When people first time fall in love, I can die for you. Can you sometimes ask, can you die for me? Do you love me? Yes, I can die for you. But then the next scene, they're fighting for the coffee. They're fighting for which color dress you wear, or which direction you walk. So these are the examples. But in real life, not just movie, but in real life, it happens like that. You see. So there's an element of attachment grasping. That's why, the suffering of argument they have to go through. In many people's case, suffering of separation has to go through. In many people's case, suffering of divorce, unbelievable suffering. Unbelievable suffering. To whom you thought you are the reason of my happiness, but then come to you are the reason of my suffering. Now come to you are the reason of my suffering. And if you trace back the reason, it's because the feeling of love, the love is not altruistic love. It happened to be delusional, grasping, delusional attachment grasping, which is very toxic. So how to define that? One simple way to define is If it's unconditional, most likely, maybe 100, maybe 99% might be the altruistic love. If it is conditional one, then, or maybe 50% conditional, 50% unconditional one, then altruistic and the delusional mix together. You see, if it's unconditional one, then even, I like the red, but you choose yellow, then okay, no expectation. Okay. If I choose coffee, you choose tea, okay, fine. But the thing is, if I choose tea, then you have to choose tea also. If I choose red, you also have to choose red, because you are about my happiness. You are all about my happiness. You are the reason for my happiness. You are my love. So I choose red, you must choose red. That's the way it comes. See? So, yes, so the point is, delusion is abundance of causes for abundance of suffering. Why we suffer so much? Because of delusion. Then the action, action, we say karma, but it just, described in a very simple way. We sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, we create so many actions that cause suffering. And that cause suffering to others, that cause also suffering to oneself. Like that. Again, in relationship, I used to give example. If the couple goes to a party, maybe like 20, 30 years of long marriage, very loving couple, complete faithful, beautiful couple, go to a party. Then the husband, of course, when you go inside holding hand, very tight, holding very tight. Very tight, then full attention. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I hope that's your favorite dish, I hope. So, and I will make sure I find a good place for sitting. We're going to have a nice party. And suddenly the husband met college friend, very close, pure, you can say altruistic friend, pure friend, pure friend. For many years, study together, very happy. There's no negative intention to each other. Pure friend. Meeting after 20 years later, kind of a best friend, suddenly in the party, what this guy would react, definitely will let go of wife's hand, isn't it? Then, the blah, blah, blah attention completely, wow, after a long time seeing you, 20 years later, oh, you look great. Even not great also, is still, I will say. Wife, until now, you are the best. Your wife, you are the best. There's no greater in the whole world. Suddenly, wife, she's watching like that. They say, oh, you look great. Oh, there's another one, great one, greater than me, maybe. And the attention until you forgot your wife is there. Full focus, and blah, blah, blah. Was so excited, I mean, for 5 years of our marriage, you've been so excited, but after that, you are not as excited like that today happening. That's why we're watching like that. And the wife must be college girlfriend. Must be girlfriend. Maybe he's supposed to marry her maybe. But then marry me, maybe. A lot of questions. Uneasy. So I mean, even in the party, the best dish now not as delicious as what I expected. The wife, husband, okay, so delicious, good ingredients. You see, we expected the best dish in the party and got it. Okay, fine. You go and eat with her. Maybe you go and you say, no. She's with the other friend. She's okay. She's okay. You sounds like you don't need me. It's okay. I can eat alone and I can go back home first. No. Husband still pure because it's an altruistic relationship with that. Just meeting after 20 years, and anybody would express that. Yeah. But the wife was not, but the husband is not mindful enough to at least introduce the lady to the wife and explain first, at least 50% attention here like this. But she is like completely like that. So you see, so that simple, it actually is very, very natural, pure action brings so much suffering to this, this wife, so much doubt, difficulties. I'm just giving example. So, so then you go back, you also start to suffer because you start to, the wife surely will question, when did you meet her? How long you know her? Then maybe the wife may start to look, ask to show the album, photo album of the past, and maybe that night, maybe the wife may not have a good sleep. Then husband also start to feel disturbed. Why suddenly she's like kind of not trusting me? She's just my college friend. Why she's behaving like that suddenly? And he also will not have a good sleep. And that itself is a suffering from that action. So I'm just giving example. Abundance of harmful actions that we commit in our day-to-day life, that which directly cause abundance of suffering in our life. So that's why one of Buddhist teaching is really, always look inward and be mindful, on the basis of, in the Buddhist teaching is be mindful on the basis of the wisdom and method, or wisdom and attitude. Wisdom is, you are interconnected with everything. So you have to be respectful of everything. You have to keep everyone's well-being in your mind. It sounds like quite stressful, but actually it's not. This is beautiful, It sounds like, oh no, I have to keep everybody in my mind, It's so stressful, we may think like that. No, it's not. You see, so the interconnectivity. So that means every action you perform, everything you say, everything you think, everything you physically behave, is you aware of everyone's well-being. So that alone, your body, speech, and mind becomes so gentle, so pacified. You speak softly, and you walk softly, and you think calmly. You see, like that. Then, so that's from the wisdom side, interconnectivity. Then the attitude is, again, is compassion. Compassion. Be mindful of, it's compassion and love. So when you express compassion, love is naturally together. When you express love, compassion naturally comes together. It's like two sides of one coin. So love is wanting, beings to be happy and oneself being in the service of creating causes for that. See, so you're always in mindfulness of creating causes for others' happiness. At the same time, making sure you don't create suffering, you don't condition suffering for others. Again, it sounds like very stressful. Wow, my brain will explode if I do like that. As long as you motivate to be like that, it comes very naturally, and somehow it kind of like your systems are all kind of designed. Maybe may not feel so natural way at the beginning, but if you do 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then it becomes part of you. You see, so there's one motivation. Again, is in the Shantideva Bodhisattva Chariots text. You become like wish fulfilling joy to everyone's being. You become, may I be the cause of anybody's, happiness. Like whoever see me, whoever think of me, even hear my name, even see my picture, criticize me, praise me, even cause my life. May I be only cause of, their happiness. So this is like what Islam has always carried, that motivation. So, so with this true attitude, somehow, even though externally, there may be lots of ups and downs, but at least yourself is like completely shielded with the protection from any harm. Including your mind is completely shielded, protection from delusions. Then your heart, your mind is, completely full of wisdom, full of wisdom and attitude. Sometimes wisdom comes first, sometimes attitude comes first. So whatever comes, or both, doesn't matter. Then even in the midst of problem, you have a wisdom to, turn that problem, as a path to beneficial path or path of enlightenment. So in Buddhist teaching, there's mind training teaching, Lojong teaching is all about, taking every experiences as a path onto the path to enlightenment. You see, so if suffering comes, is there someone slap you? Immediately wisdom. Oh, my past karma. Now this is I created. No need to get angry. I created that karma. Now I got the result slap. So my karma now completely purified. So I don't want to continue repeating like that. Next time I slap someone again. So I want to end this. This is not nice. It's painful. If someone slaps you, it's painful, isn't it? I don't want to continue like that. I don't want to repeat. So now I know Dharma. I must end this. Way to end? You use the attitude, generate compassion to that person who slapped you. You see, because of the control of the past karma, he slapped me, he created negative karma. And that negative karma, if he don't purify it, even there's potential to go even to the lowest suffering in the hell. So therefore, whatever merit that I have, that I dedicate for this person to overcome that karma. You see, so that wisdom protect you from the hurt that you receive from someone's slap. And some more you rejoice. It's so good, I able to purify my karma. That's a big thing. Yeah, even though it's quite painful, even though it's painful, nice, and some more is slapped in the public, it's quite embarrassing, but I did it. I got it. So that's one example. You see, when the suffering comes, there are practice called Tonglen, taking and giving. May all other sufferings of sentient being ripen upon this pain, so that any of the others don't have to experience even the slightest form of sufferings. On top of that, whatever merit and happiness I have, I share with them. I give to them. So through that thought training, whatever suffering that you're going through, naturally by the power of the mind, it lightened. Now, not only that, because it's so powerful, altruistic attitude, it become a very forceful antidote to that negative karma which causing you in pain. Purify, and you're able to recover faster. You see, so from the understanding of karma, by thinking all other suffering ripen upon me will not ripen upon you if you didn't create karma to experience that. You see, like this. So then, if you do more extends emptiness. If we go through some suffering, there are two methods which can be unbelievably effective. If you train in concentration, like shamatha, in fact, in Dharamsala, maybe usually have a lot of retreaters who are in the jungle, in the mountain area, who are accumulating the realization of shamatha, single-pointed concentration. There are like 9 stages of levels that you need to achieve. Once you achieve shamatha, concentration, or even the first level, when you achieve the first level of shamatha, which is not that difficult, you can use your concentrated ability to get away from the pain that go through your physical body. You can get away, not attending even one portion of consciousness to that pain. Is wounded, but through the power of concentration, you don't feel the pain. Such can be done. If you achieve 9 levels of shamatha, definitely, you actualize fluency, physical and mental fluency, and that is the result of shamatha. Then you are not disturbed by the delusional emotions, and you can also stay away from the disturbances of the physical feelings or pains. Now there's another practice is through meditation on emptiness. You see, so you examine, let's say either thought or either physical pain. Let's say physical pain, somewhere that you have physical kind of. So doctor say you got something that which is, and you can also feel the pain. So you examine where is that pain. You also examine who is experiencing that pain. So obviously say, I am experiencing that pain, isn't it? So where am I? So there are only few options. I within, without, or within physical aggregates, within mental aggregates, or at least within the 5 aggregates. Okay, first, the most obvious is physical aggregates. Am I here on the ground? Obviously, isn't it? This is not me, isn't it? This is my head. This is not me. You say, oh, if someone call me, you say, where am I? Where are you? You say, I'm here. You say, don't you recognize me? Or maybe somewhere here. It's the flesh, it's the bone, or maybe something inside, or any of the other tissues, or maybe the lung or the heart, or maybe hiding somewhere at the spine, or maybe the tiniest cells. You can take time. You can take your sweet time to check one by one. Even during just the process of checking itself, the person will feel the relief from the pain. Even just by that, because that requires a lot of concentration, isn't it, to get away from all the focus of the pain. But more than that, more profound than that, is you come to a point that there's no person who is experiencing that pain as like how you apprehend it as an intrinsic person, as an inherent person. You know, you come to a point that you will completely lose the identity, the person. You see, so from there you can also receive very powerful painkiller, Panadol. Now you can also check onto the pain itself. You say, okay, my knee pain. Yeah, so you can check the pain whether it's on the bone level. Then you can say yes, this is on the bone level. But then, which bone? You know, there are so many micro. You know, just how to say, numberless atoms. So you have to take time to check gross to the subtle. So from there, again, you will, you will find that right there's no basis of the pain. Then pain itself, you know, what is that exact pain, where you can able to define it, in what level. If it's a feeling level, you check, you know, from the first moment to the last moment of the feeling, which one is the pain, etc. So from emptiness, you know, you can use this method, something like that. So anyway, I don't know whether I answered your question, but I better stop here. The time is running out. Okay, so you decide. Someone just asked, and I try to answer a quick one. Okay, I will not long-winded.
In the films,
Yeah.
in the film, please talk about that since you were a boy, you knew what you want to be for your mission. So the question is, I always start searching for that, and I think that everyone of us are searching for our mission in life. And does it has to be, if you don't find it and you are like maybe like a 24, or maybe there's people like 15, 60, 70, and they don't find their mission? Does it has to do with your past karmas? I mean, in this life, that you have to learn something?
First of all, finding meaning of life or mission of life, I think not determined by age, and also I think not determined by time also. Yeah, and especially from Buddhist point of view, when you know, your meaning of life, there's a possibility of actualize within even a momentary level, if all the conditions are ripened. That also possible. But then whether you will realize or you feel, you know, you feel that you really reached that point, or you're able to physically kind of achieve it, like myself becoming monk, you know, I really literally have to become monk. That you can say that's my goal when I was child. And there are, you know, a certain element of past karma and certain element of the present karma, which is called the condition. So the past karma is impacting me, you know, sometimes giving me a lot of obstacles, a kind of blockage, but at the same time, you know, giving me a lot of opportunities. And those missing of those opportunities very much due to my carelessness or not grabbing the opportunity then, because of you know, sometimes we are not strong enough, full of doubts, you know. So in that kind of environment, for us to be stronger, for us to have you know, for us to easily gather all the condition, then sometimes like being near, you know, closer to, you know, roughly, you know what roughly what you want. So let's say I want to be a monk. So that means I try to be as close as possible to any monks and nuns. I try to be I have to put effort to be close to monasteries, and I try to, put effort to get near to, teachers, and somehow that helps to create the right conditions for me to ripen the full potential to really actualize my goal. So that's one thing. The another way is if we know how to pray, then pray to, as a Buddhist, pray to Buddha Dharma Sangha, and pray, in the Sangha assemblies, during like Sona's kind of teaching events. So may all the conditions ripen upon me without delay. May all the obstacles be clear to actualize, my goal. And very helpful. I used to, even after I become monk, there are a lot of, like all the goal now and then changes, or maybe new goals comes in your life. So I used to go to when I was in Nepal, I used to go to the Buddha Stupa, we call wish fulfilling Stupa. So I make prayers. I see a lot of obstacle there, and there's no clarity. But roughly, I know, but not 100% sure. So I say, okay, I'm ignorant. Please grant me the blessing, and gives you a lot of courage. Then somehow, I feel that helps. That helps like that. That's one thing. Another thing is just keep accumulating the right thing, right actions. I think that itself helps to gather more merit, purify more negativities, and you just kind of like, gradually, lead you to achieve your goal. It's very much like enlightenment. Really, honestly, I mean, we learn from the text, but we are not 100% sure within ourselves. There's definitely enlightenment out there. No, I mean, I cannot prove. I mean, you can say Shakyamuni Buddha is enlightened, our gurus are enlightened. You say so. I respect, but I didn't feel it. I didn't experience by myself actualizing that state. So I'm still kind of waiting for that, isn't it? But then you keep practicing, then become clearer and clearer. So something like that. Okay. Someone? Okay. Yes.
We saw in the movie the pain you suffer when your guru died. I felt really touching the moment when your tears came down. So I wanted to ask you if maybe you can give us advice to the people that is passing through grieving or that are really afraid of being able of their death of their loved ones.
Yeah. When my guru passed away, yes, about half an hour, I felt complete loss, sad. Then by half an hour, then somehow, I put a lot of effort to come out from that sadness. Then I accept the reality. Then I say why I'm sad. Why I'm missing the presence of this guru. Then I realized that then there's clarity that that places him the most is for me to follow the advice, fulfill his wishes on me, which is for me to accumulate merit, for me to continue to practice, continue to be in service of sentient being and Dharma, and etc. So then I said, okay. So since that is it, so now I want to focus entire my energy to accumulate virtues, in gratitude of him, or to please him, or in remembrance of him, or whatever, to fulfill that. So then it's like kind of full force of energy fill entire mind system, and that's how want to build stupa. So I put whole effort to do that. Then there are so many other, just make so many projects, virtuous projects, and I start to feel that, well, in fact, he's not dead. In fact, he's even more living in me. Last time there's kind of barrier with his physical body, but now that also normal. In fact, it's like it's absolutely in me, absolutely like all over. So then no missing, no grief, and full of rejoicement, and yes, also happy. And I feel very happy, even though he just passed away. I feel happy that, oh, okay, now you are in track, and I'm 100% guarantee he's so happy for me, and that's my purpose. So I should be happy. So I move on like that. So I can say anybody, in life, if someone, the loved one pass away, then in the name of that person, you dedicate entire your energy to dedicate virtues, accumulate virtues, like doing charity, doing social work, doing retreats, one thing that I always suggest people is to accumulate compassionate Buddha's name mantra. So you can accumulate as many virtues as possible in the name of that deceased person, and I think that will, without any doubt, will help the deceased person, but definitely, it's so effective to help ourselves to come out of that sadness. So okay, I go someone there. Good afternoon. Thank you. No, it's their choice. But I very much love that they can adopt Buddhist values, which I think anyone will appreciate and will benefit. Like value of compassion, value of harmony, love, empathy. As long as you practice that, without any doubt, you'll be enlightened. So the tech of Buddhism, if you wish to have, you can have. There's a lot of advantage. Otherwise, no need. Okay. And I should be stopping soon, isn't it?
So, what is the reason for a Buddhist monk to go to retreats for 20 years if by living in the real world you can accumulate more merit, and do more good things?
Yes. So there could be many reasons. One of the reasons, one from the many reasons, those meditators, first they go to equip all the tools, including of the realizations on the path, before they effectively come out, among the people to bring benefits. So that's one of the things. Another reason could be some, realized beings somehow, or for anybody, any teacher or any practitioner, sometimes is not always necessary to meet karmic ripened disciples for them to offer the benefit. So that also could be, if we talk about, strictly on the spiritual path. But as far as concerned with the being in the people and doing, beneficial deeds like social service, etc. Of course, if they have opportunity or if they have all the tools, then they can, and maybe they should. But then for some, many meditators in the past, even like in India, sometimes they don't have the tools of language or tools of other resources for them to really be effectively, be among the people and do kind of social things, social works, etc. So rather, they do the other way, which is by accumulating a lot of merit, a lot of practices, and they dedicate those merit to the well-being of others. And that also could be. Another reason, from the Dharma point of view, the immediate material helps are regarded as a secondary. It is beneficial, it is extremely essential, extremely important. But when someone have the capability to condition or impact other beings, which condition other beings to accumulate the causes for liberation, causes for enlightenment, then those individual practitioners will do that, will focus to do that. And then again, of course, they can do both also. So it's so I think I better stop and say it's individual choice, and every way has benefits, So yeah, best do both. Okay. Yes, you.
How was it for you to get used to the absence of a romantic relationship and intimacy in your life?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's maybe it's the greatest tragedy in my life. Yes. Yes, maybe. Yes. Oh. Yes, maybe around in teenage, and maybe that time, sometimes you feel like that. So why, why the life is sounds like so empty, bland, And I'm talking about myself, around the teenage. That time I don't have, solid understanding of Dharma. I follow more of my hormones influence and the gross emotions. So yeah, there's thought arises, like that. But then you start to really have more commitments, from practices like initiations, or you start to receive more teachings, and you start to study more deeper level of Dharma. Then you start to, the main thing, when you start to practice meditations, then you come to a point that you don't need any of the kind of material, without having all the external kind of sensual pleasure. You can have intense pleasure, intense bliss, intense happiness, joy, So then after that, you start to believe that I think I'm the how to say, happiest. I think I get to experience the most blissful bliss. Almost nothing is lacking, etc. like that. Okay. Yes. So in short, no, now I don't miss that. I don't feel I lost, some kind of I don't feel anything karsa. missed in my, it's like completely fulfilled. I wanted to say a few other things, but this is my English not coordinating with me. Yes, and especially when you start to do some, like little bit of, even though not to realize shamatha, but try to do some single body meditations. You start to do daily yoga meditations, and you start to also get really into study of Dharma. Almost there's no time for you to have that kind of idea, and you very much see everybody as it's almost like how to say, there's no kind of desirous kind of object of attachment. It's everybody you feel, you see kind of respected, like mother, brother, sister, or goddesses, and there's no any negative, like sexual desires. There's no such thing, not like that. Yeah. Also, journey through my life. Oh yes, I was approached by quite a lot of women. Yes, I shared that with my niece. And sometimes she was shocked. And a young woman, old women also, like my mother's age also, they did chase after me. So there's one time I was with my teacher. It was in Taiwan. There's another monk living in that center, from the same monastery. So he bring me to swimming in every morning, one club near university or school or something like that. So one day we was swimming. There's suddenly two lady, and that one lady, I think, later I found out that she really likes me. Yeah, she really likes me, and she even and I was also quite kind of like, not kind of that kind of liking, but becoming so close kind of friend within 1-2 days. And even I agreed to go to meet her uncle. And then after that, then I realized actually she really want to have a relationship with me. Say I need, but then after that, talk about my teacher. Then he said, "Oh, I need to go. I bring my uncle and go and see your teacher and ask teacher to let me go." But then I make sure it didn't happen. Then there's another interesting. That also in Taiwan. But I think it seems like I think the mother is the one who fell in love with me. Not the daughter, but she used the daughter's name. And she was cook for Geshe Kuncho in the center. And Geshe didn't want me, say you stay away from that mother, okay? So, like that. So I thought it's just motherly love. Then she says that. She says that my daughter likes you so much. Something like that. Oh, really? He said, oh, I see. So later it became quite intense, but she's still using the word, you will marry my daughter. But then I think the reality is, I think she's the one, I think, who likes me. And not the daughter, I don't think so. He said, whole house will be in your name, and you have a luxurious life. And that's such kind. It's a long story, but that also happened. Then there's one Dutch woman. Okay, today we'll tell love story. There's one Dutch woman. One time I went back from Sarah to meet my master in Kopan, and she was there, and I was just passing, from Geshe Gomba towards my master, and just that. And then after that, she was very kind to me, and again I thought it's a motherly love. But the later is not my karma, from the past life must be. It's really like she's like my mother and my mom, just like a young son. But then later, before I went back to Sarah, she already arrived in Sarah. Then she already told some of my other monks that I want to bring him to from Holland. To bring to Holland, and it will be my future husband. And she then when I went back, I saw, and she said, I'm the most beautiful woman in the whole world. I'm more prettier than Princess Diana. So, what can I get? And I start to run away, hide here and there. It's my past karma. So these are all forms of my past. You can look at me. I'm not. You can look at me. You think women will fall in love with this kind of look? No, isn't it? So my past karma is forcing. So then I literally have to go off from Sarah back to Kopan just to avoid her. I really did that. The senior Kopan monks knows what happened. So like that. Then after that, she came back to Kopan. Then I know mindfulness. And she keeps saying, she keeps saying, I'm more beautiful than Diana. And I think I said one bad word, one not nice word. And then she also say, yeah, so like that. So anyway, so it happens like that. Yeah, so better stop here, because otherwise there will be a lot of lists. Yeah, anyway, it's really happens like that. Okay, so we stop here. I'm sorry I could not answer to everybody. So yeah, sorry for that. Thank you. So maybe we do short dedication. You will have session now? Dinner time. Okay. Okay. Maybe short dedication, since all of us get together here, and especially you all been doing meditation, studying Dharma, and so whatever merit that we accumulate through this session, and all the merits we accumulate in the past, also will accumulate in the future, as well as we always rejoice the merits of the Buddhas, Gurus, and other sentient beings. So all this collective merit we dedicate to the numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering, it is causes, the karma and delusion. May this collective merit be a complete cause. The conflict in the world, such as the war in Russia, Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, then any other conflict around the world, as well as natural disasters, as including of this pandemic and other diseases, to be overcome without delaying even a moment. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the world leaders and leaders of organizations and who leads the family and individual ourselves, we lead our life. May we be free from all the negative emotions, such as anger, attachment, grasping, ego-centered mind, jealousy, ill will, etc. And our heart, filled with loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom of selfless, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy all the virtues, peace, happiness. We also dedicate this collective merit to all the, we dedicate this collective merit to all the good people in the world, such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, and all the good people, yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the virtuous institutions like monasteries, nunneries, Dharma centers, and especially the Tushita Meditation Center in Samsara, free from inner outer severe obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions for the preservation of Dharma, peace, harmony, happiness, spiritual, extensive learning, as well as actualizing realization on the stages of path accordingly. And also dedicate this collective merit to all the beings who pass away, in particularly in the last 49 days, free from suffering of death, suffering in limited states, suffering of rebirth, and actualize Buddha's pure realm in the future life, and within that very lifetime, they actualize state of full enlightenment accordingly. We also dedicate whatever, may this collective merit be complete cause and condition for us, whatever virtues or Dharma message that we share, able to actualize in our practice, and that practice, actualize as a path, and that path, able to bring the ultimate result of full enlightenment, that also solely for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, enlightenment. Thank you very much. Geshe, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so maybe we can do just like this, the Mandala Offering like this. We don't need to do that. Yeah. Also, maybe just inside plain. Saji Beje Joje Mendo Tam Rerablege Nyende Gembade Sanje Shindo Migde Bewa Dogu Namda Jin La Je Barai Jo. Then here we request His Holiness and Captain Lama Sobuche or Guru's long life, and especially Lama Sobuche, when through operation, the operation was successful. But then for the Buddha to live long life and turn the wheel of Dharma. Chuze lame goze rabdeje nanga dele jojo jemba na losan tembe deme sasum ji debe mese dadu je yoro je ye dama guru rana menda kaniya daya me janjo semjo remboje maje banam je joje jawanya ba me ba yang bone gondo kawara show. If you have any dedication, specific dedication you wish to do for your family members, for yourself, so you can do while we recite this short dedication prayer. In this collective environment, can be very powerful. Tonye dawarim boje maje banam jeju jawanya ba me baya gone godo bewa shore nye dawarim boje maje banam jeju jawanya ba me baya gone godo. Bewara jo gare rave gobe shingam de bendan de wa male jo ne jereze wa denze jazo ye shabeze de bado de joje tumzo shali jangwe jawe de jo bebe kozo do boje chozo gobe ne me do Naso de je gundo jabden jo jabe bawe jidra jembada gundo zambo ne ande jinje de da gunje chiso dalo je jawa de ta tam je ram do de zon jebe jawa tam je de owa ga chode ma da je jebe zawa de gunja zambo je je ram do ngo wara je bama sim je tam je de na de ju jing ro tam je da do do wa da jan ju sem ba kana zo jo de da gunje malam do jo je sem je ne ba jinje ba nyu to ne le da jo je de ben ne ma le ba da do jo wa me bara jo je je jabo zonga be je zon no bar be wa da je je ze ma je wa da tin je ma le zang wa jo da da jin je de zon da do be zun ye ma de ne ja wa lo san da tem ba yu re ba yu ro je men jo ze je ja be je na na ten de lu wa me be de ba da je no so da me ju nam da me be ne gu do je je tem ba je den kam zo je ma da tem ba ni re je do za wa ye de je ko lo Nebe daji yo ni mondele zendele ni me goyan dele je ni ze dadu dele be konjo zombi daji yo. Thank you so much, and have a good stay, good course. And oh yes, there's a great teachers here, Venerable Anila and Venerable Geshe. Venerable Geshe. It is a reincarnation of my late guru. Is studying Sarah. Geshe is one of the tutor. Geshe has been teaching Rinpoche for a long time, and they are also from same Kamzen. So you can ask about Rinpoche if anything that you wanted to ask me, and maybe he know more than me now. I haven't seen him for 5 years. Just recently, I saw him for a short while, like that. And I thank Venerable Ani Kumbel who worked so hard. And thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you. Thank you. Venerable, long life, good health. Thank you. Maybe one thing I forget to say. Those who are, since you asked about my love life, those who are in relationship, those who have partners, please take good care of each other, and you're so lucky to have somebody in your life, and treasure it. Life can go like in the blinks of your eye. Okay? And those who don't have relationship, those who don't have partner, please enjoy your freedom. You should appreciate that independence. Yeah. So whatever position you are, enjoy life. Some Dharma practice like that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So some of the students can help for a second, and not everyone. Most of you, especially the days of the visits, go eat lunch, say dinner. I'm sorry, but if we have some time, we have more candle and we say the house for the candle. So yeah, some people could just go with this one on all the tables, and some just can put the candles in each house of a candle, so they wouldn't drip on the thing. So some of this and some of this. Yeah. And if you need more,